I am. Did I just do a magic trick?
You just did a magic trick, Kendall.
What's up, makers? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nate Javier, and I'm unbelievably excited that you are here with me in this space. Things are getting better and we are getting closer to our destination. What is it that we're getting to? Well, I'm so glad you asked. I am taking you on a journey with me in creating a magic show. What is it like? What are the steps, things to consider? And there's this new social media platform called Clubhouse. It's pretty awesome and it's audio only. So I'm creating an audio only magic show with you, showing you how I design a show. We've gone over things like character, we've gone over audience, we've gone over the challenge itself, and this week I want to talk about another important aspect. And this week I want to talk about another important aspect, and it's scripting, or the bad word in magic talk is patter. Magicians hate that word, but it really is. It's the vocal play between you and the audience and how you tell your story if you do choose to use any scripting. And it could be like, physical scripting with where your body goes and how you present yourself, or it could be the actual vocal words that are vocal words. That's a real thing. It could be the vocal phrases that you utilize. That's also scripting. It all comes together in that way. For me, I know a lot about my character, and that plays a lot into what I use to make sure what I say is correct, or better yet, what I say will not cause somebody to walk out right away. A lot of my character is very sarcastic, and he's kind of cynical, goofy, extremely dumb, but loves to play with people. I know that for me personally, I work really well with, for lack of a better term, don't shut this off yet, I do a lot of insult comedy, where it's not insulting in the way where somebody feels completely offended and they just want to run away. That's not good insult comedy. It's where it's kind of like when you and your friends go out to get a drink and then you make fun of each other as time progresses. So I get to do the same kind of play because my audience trusts me from what they've heard me say to them and my actions. That's so important. You have to also understand that in my show, yeah, I say some things that are a little edgy, but not to the extent where somebody will take it the wrong way and we're gonna have a lawsuit on our hands. Let's be honest here. There's a fine line between being funny and being crass and crude. Nobody really some people think it's hilarious, the concept of being super crass, super crude, just a disgusting person, but that's not something somebody can sit through an hour of listening to. Instead, like for me personally, one of my things is I have to make sure that if I slip in a double entendre, it's by accident. It's one of those things where I catch it and just for a second I'll flash like a little surprise or like oops, and just move on real quickly to make it kind of an awkward moment. So that's what causes them to laugh, is like, oh, he didn't mean to do that. Yes, I did, but I did it to make you laugh. You have to also understand, if you're going the comedy route, overextensive potty humor is not great. Everybody thinks certain things are funny. A well-timed fart joke is usually pretty good, anything like that, but excessive use, maybe more than one or two lines within a show, it becomes old hat and people don't want to listen to that. So that's why potty humor is not really my first choice, but it's a solid number 2. When choosing your scripting as well, you have to understand the pace at which you orate. It may be based on your character, it could be based on your personality, it could be based on the energy of the audience, and all those things are factors that I put into my show as well, where I know that super energetic, I can jump around and things will go absolutely nuts, but it's not exactly the thing that you want to do when you're like my touches routine, my voodoo routine. That's not something where I'm going to be speaking really quick and super energetic and I'm thinking, oh, you definitely would be a great option for this. No. For the setting to be right for that. And yes, I do comedy mentalism and magic with a little bit of sideshow, but for something like that, a major part of my act, one of the big heavy hitters in it, to set the mood right, I know that my script, my patter, and I used the P word, all you magicians out there, that's right, I used the word patter. I know what I have to say needs to be slow, methodical, and give off the vibe of how serious that effect is, which is really what it comes down to, right? So if I'm talking about voodoo, I'm gonna say in the early 1900s, there was a belief system that was bastardized by modern culture. Now originally voodoo was one of those things where a witch doctor would take somebody's soul out of their body, and I'd continue on my script just like that, where it's kind of slow. However, if you go back to another video, I'll actually link it up here, where Chris and I were part of a 4-man magic show night. Feels like forever ago, man, but it was like a year and a half ago. It was October of 2019. Chris and I actually did a dual mind reading act, and yes, the commenter who commented on it, we know, filming in the back of the room, whoever we got the video from, we get it. But at the same time, if that's another high energy, fast-paced scripting that we wanted to go through, where Chris would play the straight man, where he's on stage taking it in slow and methodically, seriously, while I'm the buffoon jumping around the audience going, all right, yeah, let's see, what objects does everybody have in their hand? Please raise it up nice and high for us. Let's see what you have. All right, this person over here. Now, Chris, I'm sorry, what's your name? Oh, Susie. Make sure, Susie, that you hold that nice and tight. Now, Chris, this object is blah, 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 blah. And we'd go through it. Much different mood than the whole voodoo script, but it makes sense. You got to have this kind of progression. The other thing is, when you're writing a script, you got to have your highs, lows. You have to have some sense of flow as you're speaking, because if you're talking the same way, you're going to put somebody to sleep. Or if you're slow, then nobody's going to pay attention. If you're too fast, nobody can pay attention. You have to just be aware of how quickly you orate and the way you deliver your story. So speaking of stories, this week my guest was actually my good friend, singer-songwriter Kendall Renee. She's on Clubhouse now, which is super awesome. But her YouTube channel is amazing. She does incredible work. She's been doing some covers lately. You should check those out. I'll link her stuff in the description. Link her stuff in the description below. Yes, I'm wearing her merch. Not the hat. The hat's not hers, but the shirt is. It's pretty awesome. Her music video is incredible. I'll link that as well. I wanted to test the storytelling, the scripting and whatnot, so I wrote a story about a magician, and well, you know what? Here, just check it out. All right, Kendall, so thanks for joining me and volunteering for this experiment. We're going to call it an experiment. Tell me, would you like to learn a practical way to find, lost or stolen objects? That'll be handy. Love it. Well, to kind of explain it, I want to tell you about a personal experience, and it's the theft and magical recovery of a magician's hat. To kind of follow along with the explanation, hopefully you have 10 little objects at hand, like paper clips or pencils or garbanzo beans or whatever, like whatever you can. You got any small objects?
Yes, I have 8 paper clips shaped like puppies, and I have 2 sticky notes, so 10.
Okay, I'm glad you can math good. I mean, that's very important. And also, if you can, count out, more math, count out 20 playing cards, if you will.
Notice, instead of counting to 20, I counted to 10 twice, because I'm a musician, I don't do math.
I wasn't going to point it out, but that was what I was thinking.
Of course you were. Okay,
So,
I've got 20
those-
cards.
yeah, those 20 cards represent 20 magicians,
Okay.
and 10 of them wear top hats, which are represented by the paper clips.
Okay, do I need to lay them out or anything?
No, you don't have to lay it out.
Okay.
We'll get to it. So every Monday, the magicians here in Orange County, actually, or SoCal, get together usually and enjoy dinner together, and we love to study, discuss magic, we love to jam and just share ideas. And I mean, there was a night that I wasn't able to go. These magicians usually show up in groups, and what we're going to do is take the cards, which is to say the magicians, and go ahead and shuffle them. That's okay. Nobody's going to judge you except for me. Just don't drop your cards. I mean, you don't want any of the magicians to slip away.
I feel like I just did such a bad shuffle that you're probably gonna like zoom in on it and keep playing it over and over again to make fun of me, but it's fine.
You
Okay.
do that, Kendall? Never.
Okay.
Just don't drop the cards.
Okay.
Just don't drop the cards.
Okay.
Just don't drop the cards.
I'm shuffling them in my own way.
You know what? That's unique.
Alright, they're pretty shuffled, I think.
Alright. Everybody shuffled and grouped up. So we'll continue. The restaurant's very small, and there are only 3 tables seating 5 guests each. So 3 magicians arrive, and since they're the first to get there, they choose the best table by the window. So what we're gonna do, Kendall, is take 3 cards, 3 magicians, and set them face down on the table or whatever surface you got to your left.
Okay, that's not my left. Okay.
Not only can you count, you can know your lefts and rights sometimes.
I'm so spherical.
Go ahead and square up the cards neatly to make sure they don't mix with the others we're about to work with.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
2 more magicians arrive, and they sit at the table farther to the right. So in that case, we're going to put 2 cards in a pile to the right of the first.
Okay, just like next to it, kind of?
Yeah,
Okay.
but keep them separate.
Alright.
Another 3 magicians arrive and very politely sit at the last table, even further to the right, near the door. So do the same with the cards. So
Okay, another
making
3.
another pile.
You said 3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
3 more magicians sit by the door, all the way to the right.
Alright.
2 more magicians arrive, and they join those at the table to the right, filling out its capacity of 5. So go ahead, put 2 cards onto the pile to the right and square it out.
Alright. Got it.
And at this point, 10 more magicians are expected to show up, and count and make sure you have another 10.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you could count to 10 still.
Wow. Shame.
All right, let's continue on then. So 3 of these magicians now arrive. We're gonna square these up and seat them at the table to the left by the window,
Okay.
along with those already there.
But that would make 6.
It's okay.
Okay.
Just lay the 3 cards on top of the pile to the left.
Okay.
2 more magicians arrive, and they join the people seated at the table in the middle. So go ahead and do the same with the cards. So that makes a total of 15. So you should have 5 cards left in your hands. Do you?
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. The last 5 magicians arrived very late, and since there are no seats left for them, they approached those at the table on the left who have already finished their dinner. They talk, exchange some thoughts, and finally, all 10 of them decide to go elsewhere for a drink. So put the 5 remaining cards on top of the pile to the left.
Okay.
Pick up that packet and go ahead and just set it off to the side.
Okay.
You got that?
Yeah.
So those sitting at the 2 remaining tables for 5 get together for coffee. Let's take the pile on the right and drop it on top of the other pile.
Okay, right.
Those are the magicians that originally arrived wearing top hats, which they had hung by the lobby. The 10 magicians are done talking and ready to leave.
Okay, wait, so I put the one on the right into the middle pile?
Yeah, put it on top of the middle pile.
Okay.
They suddenly realize that one of the magician's hats is missing, that there are only 9. So go ahead, take one of the clips and, or post-it note, whatever you want, and go ahead, set that off to the side. So make sure you have 9 paper clip post-it note, 9 objects left.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point they called me on the phone and explained their problem. I made sure I told them that we could find a magic solution, because, that's what we do. Each magician will get a hat, and even though there were only 9 hats for 10 magicians, all they had to do is follow the ritual. So pick up the pile of cards from the table.
Which one?
You should have 1 pile of cards on the table.
Oh yeah, because it's technically all on one pillow because I ran out of room. But yeah, so the middle pile technically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to take the first magician,
Mhm.
in other words, the top card.
Mhm.
Set that aside for the moment, waiting by the door of the restaurant.
Okay.
The second magician takes a hat and goes out.
Okay. So.
Accordingly, what we're going to do is take a card from that packet and a paper clip or post-it note.
Or a puppy in this case.
Yes, a puppy.
Okay.
And so you're going to put them together, and then, you know what, we're going to return that card to the pile that we set aside earlier. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and set them over there. He's already left.
Okay.
He had his hat, and he's going to leave.
Got it.
The third magician takes a hat and goes out. So we're going to take another card from the packet and a paper clip or a puppy. And we're going to go ahead, set him off to the side along with the first one. So we have had 2 people leave.
Okay.
The fourth magician does the same. He takes his hat and goes.
It. Crap. I almost broke the puppy. Okay.
You got it?
Yep.
The fifth magician takes his hat and goes out and does the same thing. Sixth magician takes his hat and goes out.
Got it.
The seventh magician takes his hat and goes out.
Okay.
The eighth magician takes his hat and leaves.
Where does he leave to? Does he put a hat on and leave?
Yes.
Okay. And can I just put him in a separate pile then?
Sure. All these guys should be taking their hats and leaving.
Okay.
The ninth magician, the last card that should be in your hands, takes his hat and leaves.
Okay. Or his post-it note in this case.
Yes, his post-it note and leaves.
Got it.
The 10th magician, who's standing by the door, you know, the one that's kind of all by himself on the table. Wait. Is that... Do you have one hat too many?
Well, yeah. Well, wait, no. I have
What?
I have a post-it note, and I have a paperclip.
Paperclip, right? So yeah, you have one hat too many. So obviously, the 10th magician, he's gonna take his hat and go out and join the others for a beverage.
Okay.
And thus, magically, all those magicians left with their hats, despite the fact that there were only 9 hats for 10 magicians. I did solve the problem for my 10 colleagues, and each promised to buy me dinner. So yeah.
How?
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
But there's one hat left. What is this sorcery?
What'd you think?
This is interesting. Okay. Did I just do a magic trick?
You just did a magic trick, Kendall. Thank you so much, Kendall, for joining me. I appreciate that. Everybody, please give her a holler down below and say woot woot for her. And you guys, thank you for joining me this week on DAMSON. I'm super stoked about what next week's going to offer. If you want to learn some magic, maybe fool some people, why don't you hit that playlist that we put together just for you up top, or smack that bottom link to see what YouTube thinks you should watch next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, keep making that magic.